Trump's fed up with fake numbers. After a shock jobs report, he's fired the nation's top Labour statistician, calling her a Biden plant who rigged the data to hurt Republicans. Then, a Fed governor quits. Now, Trump's poised to reshape the Fed, the economy, and the data behind both. Is Trump firing people who tell the truth, or just those who make him look bad? US President Donald Trump, on August 1st, lashed out at the Bureau of Labor Statistics and fired its Labor Statistics Chief Dr. Erika McEntarfer after the US economy added fewer jobs than expected in July. And large downward revisions were made in the prior 2 months, which suggests the economy and labour market are weaker than previously believed. The BLS reported on August 1st that 74,000 jobs were added in July, well below the 110,000 estimate of economists polled by LSEG. The report also revised job growth in May and June downward. May's gains were pared back by 125,000 to just 19,000 jobs created, while the June figures were revised down by 133,000 to just 14,000 jobs added that month. According to the BLS, the last time a revision was down more than 133,000 was in March 2021, when it was revised down by 146,000 1 year into the COVID pandemic. Trump took to his Truth Social platform and wrote,
"I was just informed that our country's jobs numbers are being produced by a Biden appointee, Dr. Erika McEntarfer, the Commissioner of Labor Statistics, who faked the jobs numbers before the election to try and boost Kamala's chances of victory. This is the same Bureau of Labor Statistics that overstated the job growth in March 2024 by approximately 818,000, and then again, right before the 2024 presidential election, in August and September, by 112,000. These were records. No one can be that wrong. We need accurate job numbers. I have directed my team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately. She will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. Important numbers like this must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political purposes."
In a second surprise economic policy development, the door for Trump to make an imprint on the Federal Reserve, with which he clashes almost daily for not lowering interest rates, opened much earlier than anticipated when Fed Governor Adriana Kugler unexpectedly announced her resignation on the afternoon of August 1st. The two developments further rattled the stock market, already reeling from his latest barrage of tariff announcements and the weak jobs data. The benchmark S&P 500 index sank 1.6% in its largest daily drop in more than 2 months. A Trump administration official who requested anonymity said that while all economic data is noisy, the White House has been dissatisfied with how large the revisions have been in the recent data and issues with lower survey responses. The problem started during COVID and has not been addressed in the years since. The BLS has already reduced the sample collection for consumer price data as well as the producer price report, citing resource constraints. The government surveys about 121,000 businesses and government agencies, representing approximately 631,000 individual work sites for the employment report. BLS data shows the response rate has declined from 80.3% in October 2020 to about 67.1% in July. In addition to the concerns over job market data, headcount reductions at BLS have resulted in it scaling back the scope of data collection for the Consumer Price Index, one of the most important gauges of US inflation, watched by investors and policymakers worldwide. Trump's move fed into concerns that politics may influence data collection and publication.
In my opinion, today's jobs numbers were rigged in order to make the Republicans and me look bad. Just like when they had 3 great days around the 2024 presidential election, and then those numbers were taken away on November 15th, 2024, right after the election, when the jobs numbers were massively revised downward, making a correction of over 818,000 jobs. A total scam. Jerome "Too Late Powell" is no better. But the good news is our country is doing great.
Meanwhile, Kugler's surprise decision to leave the Fed at the end of next week presents Trump with an earlier-than-expected opportunity to install a potential successor to Fed Chair Jerome Powell on the central bank's Board of Governors. Trump has repeatedly threatened to fire Powell because the Fed chief has overseen a policy-making body that has not cut interest rates as Trump has demanded. Powell's term expires next May, although he could remain on the Fed board until January 31st, 2028, if he chooses. Trump will now get to select a Fed governor to replace Kugler and finish out her term, which expires on January 31st, 2026. A governor filling an unexpired term may then be reappointed to a full 14-year term. McEntarfer is a long-time government worker who had served as BLS head for a year and a half. Her predecessor, who was overseeing the jobs agency, former co-workers and associates have denounced the firing, warning about its repercussions and saying McEntarfer was non-political in her role. McEntarfer, whose research focuses on job loss, retirement, worker mobility and wage rigidity, had previously worked at the Census Bureau's Center for Economic Studies, the Treasury Department's Office of Tax Policy and the White House Council of Economic Advisors in a non-political role. She has a bachelor's degree in social science from Bard College and a doctoral degree in economics from Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. McEntarfer was nominated in 2023 to serve as BLS head, and the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor and Pensions recommended that her nomination go to the full Senate for a vote. She was confirmed as BLS Commissioner in January 2024 on a bipartisan 8 Senate vote. Among the Republican senators who voted to confirm her were then Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, who is now Trump's vice president, and then Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, who is now Trump's Secretary of State.